MC3 Tool 9, Guiding Conversations Back to Calm. How stability returns when control replaces urgency. After miscommunication has occurred and trust has begun to stabilize, conversations often remain tense. The immediate crisis may have passed, but residual pressure lingers. Clients stay cautious. Tone remains guarded. Progress feels possible, yet fragile. At this stage, the work is no longer about repair. It is about restoring calm without pretending that strain never existed. Calm is not the absence of difficulty, it is the presence of control. Guiding conversations back to calm is therefore a deliberate act. It requires shifting the emotional and structural conditions of the interaction so that urgency no longer dominates interpretation. Why urgency distorts communication? Urgency compresses communication. It prioritizes speed over accuracy and reaction over reflection. While urgency can be useful in genuine emergencies, it becomes damaging when sustained beyond necessity. After miscommunication, urgency often lingers unnecessarily. People remain alert, cautious, and reactive, even when conditions no longer require it. Messages are read defensively. Small changes feel significant. Conversations carry emotional residue. Calm cannot return while urgency remains the dominant signal. Calm is created through predictability. Calm emerges when interactions become predictable again. Predictability reduces emotional load and restores cognitive capacity. Clients stop scanning for threat and begin to listen for meaning. This predictability comes from consistent structure, steady tone, and reliable sequencing. Meetings follow a rhythm. Updates arrive when expected. Decisions progress in manageable steps. None of this requires reassurance. It requires control. Reducing emotional reactivity. Guiding a conversation back to calm often involves reducing emotional reactivity without addressing it directly. This may mean avoiding provocative phrasing, limiting unnecessary escalation, or allowing space between exchanges so that interpretation can settle. Reactivity thrives in compressed environments. Calm requires room. Professionals who regulate reactivity do so quietly. They do not argue emotion away. They redesign the conditions that keep emotion heightened. Stability before resolution. There is often pressure to resolve everything once trust begins to return. This impulse can destabilize calm prematurely. Resolution requires clarity, and clarity requires capacity. Guiding conversations back to calm prioritizes stability over closure. It allows unresolved issues to exist temporarily without escalating them. This restraint prevents new miscommunication from forming while old strain is still dissipating. Tone as a signal of safety. Tone becomes especially influential at this stage. A steady, unhurried tone signals that urgency has passed. It reassures without explanation. Clients mirror this signal subconsciously, allowing their own emotional state to settle. Tone does not need to be warm or informal. It needs to be consistent. Why calm restores collaboration? When calm returns, collaboration becomes possible again. Clients re-engage intellectually rather than defensively. Questions reappear. Ideas are tested rather than protected. The conversation regains flexibility. This shift is often gradual. Calm accumulates through repeated stable interactions rather than dramatic moments. Avoiding the illusion of normality. Guiding conversations back to calm does not mean pretending that miscommunication never occurred. It means integrating what happened without allowing it to dominate future interaction. Ignoring the past can feel dismissive. Overfocusing on it reactivates strain. Calm emerges when the experience is acknowledged implicitly through improved control rather than explicit revisiting. From recovery to flow. This tool completes the recovery phase of the MC3 toolkit. Alignment has been reset. Trust has been rebuilt. Reliability has returned. What remains is to restore flow, the sense that communication can proceed without constant vigilance. Flow does not require perfection. It requires stability. How this tool completes the system. Guiding conversations back to calm allows all other MC3 tools to function effectively again. Alignment holds. Pace feels natural. Exposure remains manageable. Emotional load stays within capacity. The chapters that follow move into applying these tools across different contexts and industries, showing how global client dynamics play out in real-world settings and how the MC3 system adapts accordingly. When calm returns, communication stops being something to manage moment by moment. It becomes something you can rely on.